Once you're comfortable with the knit stitch and made a little piece of garter stitch ribbing, it's time to learn how to purl. So in order to purl, you still always hold our loaded needle in the left hand, and you're going to take your right hand needle, and this time, instead of going left to right and front to back, you're going to go right to left and back to front. So you're going to make the X with the working needle in front, and you're also going to hold your working yarn in front of you, in front of the needles, between you and the needles. And you're going to wrap it around the same way we did before, but then when you pull it through, you have to go from front to back and pull that stitch off the needle. So you go from back to front and right to left, and you wrap the working yarn around and then pull the needle through the back and off the left hand. So right to left and back to front, wrap the yarn and pull it through to the back. Sometimes the hardest part to see is just this sliding that new loop through. I try to keep the two needles in contact so that I don't drop it. I just slide that point along the side of the left-hand needle, and that way I know it's there and it pops off. So right to left, back to front, wrap it around, and let it go off. That brings us to the end. So when you turn it around, you'll see, instead of the garter ridges, you start to get a flatter fabric. Because when you knit, you put the bumps, there are bumps from each new loop. So we're going to knit this row to show you where the bumps go. You go back to knitting, and the bump from the loop lands on the back. And the other thing to notice is when you're knitting, the working yarn is away from you on the far side of the needle. And so we knit across, and you see that this begins when the knit stitches have the bumps fall away from you. And so the stitches look very different. And so we'll knit along, putting the bumps in the back with the working yarn away, and that's knitting. And then we turn it around, and we're going to do a purl row, and that will make the bumps come on this side towards us, so it keeps all the bumps on the same side of the fabric. So right to left, back to front, wrap the working yarn, pull the loop through and off. Pull the loop through and let it slide off the left needle. It's a little awkward to show you because I use my thumb to hold the X in place. So I just pinch it, and that way it stays put while I wrap, and then I let it go. And it goes off. And at the end of this row, we'll be able to see better still what alternating knitting and purl rows do. And so here it is. You can see down here is garter stitch, and this flat part is called stockinette stitch. And in most patterns, this is referred to as the right side of the work, which is abbreviated RS, and this is often the wrong side of the work. Not always, but it's a good guess. And so the purl side would be the inside or the wrong side, and the flat side is out there, and that's called stockinette stitch.